Shh. It's that time, y'all. Time for Big Boys Boxing.
If you think I'm a pussy, I'm a punk, you tell me right now. Because listen, I am the baddest man you ever fucking meet.
So that'll give a bit of energy.
Yeah.
It's good night. It is all over in the 11th round.
What's going on, team? Hope everybody is doing well, staying safe, dealing with this weak corona. So yeah, today it's pretty much anything goes today, and I made a few sound adjustments. My last live was a bit crap because I didn't do a sound test, and yeah, we'll just see how it sounds. So sound test, but crap because I didn't do a sound test, and that sounds much better. Mic sounds nice and clear, right volume. So today I just seen a couple of stories on boxing scene that want to jump in and have a look at. So just let me get this over. Just while a few y'all roll in, we'll have a look at the story. So get my browser up. We do.
Eriksen Fury retiring after White. He might stick around for a big fight, maybe Joshua Usyk. Bob Arum is not entirely convinced that Tyson Fury will hang up the gloves after his fight with Dillian Whyte. Not when the prospect of making incredible money against a big-name opponent still looms. In a press conference earlier this month to promote his April 23 fight against Whyte, a mandatory challenger, WBC title holder Fury declared that it would be his last professional bout, citing the gargantuan sums of money he has already made and the projects he wants to pursue in his post-boxing life. Fury-Whyte is set to take place at Wembley Stadium in London. "Why do I have to be one of those people who went on too long and got injured?" Fury told BT Sport. "Just had one too many fights and blew it all for what? A few more quid. I want to retire on top, unbeaten heavyweight champion of the world. I want to do a Netflix documentary, a Hollywood movie, and be a good husband, father and son." Co-promoter Bob Arum, however, thinks Fury won't be so quick to leave the sport so long as tempting offers come his way. Arum pointed out that a potential bout against either London's Anthony Joshua or Ukraine's Alexander Usyk, who currently owns the three other heavyweight belts, would garner significant attention and big bucks. "Well, Fury can say things, and he says them sincerely, and he believes them for the moment, but you know he's not signing a contract that it's his last fight. You know what I mean," Arum told Fight Hub TV. "I think on second thought, when he sees what's out there, like maybe a Joshua fight or an Usyk fight, he might stick around." Arum, though, made it clear that barring a top name like Joshua, Fury 3101 22 KOs probably would not be motivated to return to the sport after his clash with White 28-2, 19 KOs on April 23. The 33-year-old Fury is coming off of a stretch in which he twice defeated American puncher Deontay Wilder by stoppage, 7th round TKO in 2020, 11th round KO in 2021. He's not going to stick around to fight a secondary opponent, Arum said of his client. If there's another big fight out there for him to fight, he will, in my opinion, without question, take that fight.
Alright, that's enough. So, one thing I did notice in there was he talks about wanting to retire at the top. But the thing is, he's not at the top. Is he? He is not at the top. He needs to fight either Joshua or Usyk to be at the top, doesn't he? He's near the top and has been for a while. So, I don't know, man. Easy Peel in the house. Good to have you in, man. So yeah, I think Bob Arum knows well and good that Fury wants that fight to define his legacy. The big fight between the winner of Joshua and Fury. So, yeah, like I said, I think Fury saying he was going to retire is just to get some attention. I don't believe he's saying it sincerely like Bob Arum says either. But these are just my thoughts. But there is another story that I wanted to look at here. Where is it? It's another one about Fury. Here it is. Fury says Joshua, White, was trying to control everything during step-aside talks. Wow. Joshua wouldn't have been stepping aside for anything because, you know, Usyk was the one who would have had to step aside. Oh, sorry, no. Yeah, because Fury wanted to fight Joshua. He didn't want to fight Usyk. But anyways, if the person who's going to step aside is going to take a deal, then yes, they have to accept it. They have to be the ones to control whether they're going to take it or not. But anyways, let's have a listen to the story. I haven't even listened to this one yet. So,
again, if there isn't, he's not looking to spend time training and so forth to do a secondary fight because at this...
That's the wrong story. Is it going to play the right one now? Let's see.
Fury says Joshua White were trying to control everything during step-aside talks. Tyson Fury, the 33-year-old WBC title holder from Manchester, talked about the various step-aside scenarios that came up during his negotiations to fight countryman mandatory challenger Dillian Whyte. There was talk that Fury could simply bypass the Jamaican-born, London native Whyte to face WBO, WBA, IBF, IBO champion Alexander Usyk of Ukraine for a full heavyweight unification bout this spring. But that would have been contingent on getting permission from Anthony Joshua, who had a contractual rematch clause with Usyk and Whyte. In the end, with far too many variables at play, a deal for a step-aside fell apart. Fury's team blamed it on Joshua for asking for a larger fee. Fury himself says he got tired of all the back and forth between the various parties as he was looking to schedule his return date sooner than later. Fury has been a one-fight-per-year fighter since 2020. Fury had originally penciled himself in for a ring return in March. He is scheduled to face Whyte on April 23 in London. I was told the step-aside deal was real close, Fury told IFL TV. We were all ready to do our thing, sign, and do everything to make the fight happen. But they didn't. It was a big load of crap. They were making so many demands. They wanted this, they wanted that. Whyte wanted bits and pieces. Joshua wanted these things. They were trying to control everything. The positive out of this is I get to do my fight April 23rd. I'm the top of the tree. I don't wait for other people to decide what they're going to do with my career. I fight on my times and my dates. When they become world heavyweight champion, then they can determine when they want to fight.
Usyk is world champion. He has 3 belts. The fuck you smoking, Fury, you dumbass?
When they become world heavyweight champion, then they can determine when they want to fight. According to Fury, Usyk, even before the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, was not going to be ready to enter the ring until at least May. With news he couldn't be ready until the end of May, so that wasn't going to happen, Fury said.
More bullshit, because he's going to be fighting in June. What a crock of shit.
With news he couldn't be ready until the end of May, so that wasn't going to happen, Fury said. Dillian White's the mandatory, and he has to have that fight, so I'm looking forward to that. As for Joshua, the fallout pertaining to this step aside was a financial matter, said Fury. 3-1-0-1, 22 KOs. The 32-year-old Joshua, 24-2, 22 KOs, is headed for a rematch with 35-year-old Usyk, 19-0, 13 KOs, later this summer.
Yeah, right, that's enough of that one too. He talks so much shit. How does he think anybody's going to believe anything that comes out of his mouth? There was no mention of the arbitration case in there, and no step-aside deal could have been done until that arbitration case was completed in the first place. How much shit is this guy talking? Holy McJesus. Anyways, let me get back over to the chat for a sec here. Tommy Temper from the Boxing Lounge is in the house. Let's go, champ! Champ! Blackout also in the house. What's good, Triple B? The weather is good today here, brother. It is mean. Nice and sunny, hardly any clouds. It's the end of summer, so yeah, not much else. There hasn't really been any heavyweight boxing competitive fights for a while. We're supposed to have Gorman Alexander over the weekend, but Gorman pulled out because of illness, so that sucked. That was my one heavyweight fight I got up early for. I even set up a live commentary stream for it. And then I looked at BoxRec. Oh, it's not on there anymore. So I had to Google and find out. It wasn't even, I couldn't even find it on Google. I ended up spotting it on Nathan Gorman's Twitter that he was out for that fight. So that sucked. But yeah, Fury's still selling that lineal bullshit. Wow, he's always going to be selling it. He's always going to be selling it. That's the only title he's held for a substantial amount of time, isn't it? And that's only because he didn't have to defend it. So, but he is the WBC champion at present. And truth be known, I am looking forward to this fight on the 23rd in a few weeks. So, Phil Carl Roberts is in the house as well. Good to have you in, bro. If anybody would like to join, there is a link pinned to the top. She's pretty much anything goes today. So, it doesn't have to be boxing, doesn't have to be heavyweight, doesn't have to be anything. Just chilling. But over the weekend I did, since I got up early, I thought I might as well watch the fights that were on. The fight I was most interested in over the weekend was Florian Marku v. what's his name, Jenkins. Can't remember his first name. It was an interesting kind of fight for Marku. It's a bit of a step up, and he did a lot less kind of showboating and seemed a bit more serious, and you could see some slight improvements with his boxing. I mean, he's only been in boxing for 3 years, and the dude's keen on working his way up. He wants Amir Khan next. I can see why he wants Amir Khan next, because he looked absolutely shot against Kell Brook. But it looks like Khan's going to try and get that paycheck to get his face smashed in again from Kell Brook. Good for him. It's all about the money, I guess, for him. So it's all fun and games until someone cracks an eye. Oh, the boxing lounge is in the shit. I better get into the chat myself. Sorry, Tommy. Dang. I get in there, drop a link. There he is. Sorry, Tommy. I forgot to get in myself. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, Jono. How are you?
I'm not bad, bro. I'm not bad at all. So, did you catch any boxing over the weekend? Is there anything worth watching for you?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Nah, no biggie, man. There wasn't a lot on anyway. Savannah Marshall got an impressive knockout, but the level of opponent, you know how it goes. I was just talking about Florian Marcoux. Had a good scrap, and he wants Amir Khan next, but can't see that happening with Khan wanting to take that rematch with Brook. But what do you reckon of Tyson Fury? You caught all that stuff that I was talking about with Tyson Fury earlier. What do you reckon about him talking about retirement and Joshua and White trying to control everything when it comes to the step aside that they were trying to organise?
Right. Well, you got to look at it this way. He's got... Is this his last fight, or has he got one more fight left on his contract?
Tyson?
Yeah.
Yeah, the White fight is his last fight on his ESPN contract.
Right. So, if he does... If I use the word come back, even though he wins, let's say he wins, he's going to be asking the moon. So that's kind of what I see that he's trying to do. He's trying to plant the seed that where I'm out of contract, I'm a free agent, I'm going to ask for the most amount of money in my next fight. I think that's one of his tactics that he's using.
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Do you think the announcement of possible retirement was just to try and get more eyes on Tyson Fury? Besides the trying to get more money for the bigger fight next, of course.
I mean, in terms of fights, let's say he beats White, and let's say he beats AJ. If he retires after that, is he going to get a lot of shit for not fighting XYZ? Is that what you're asking, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, who would he get criticized for not fighting?
Usyk, if he beats Joshua.
Oh yeah, of course. What am I talking about? I'm so stupid.
No, you're not, Tommy. Come on.
All right, little blip. Okay, yeah, he has to fight Usyk. He has to. He can't walk away from that, because to me that would be the biggest shit stain on his record. Because you cannot walk away from the opportunity to find out if you're the man, or if you can. If the opportunity is there to pick up all the marbles.
Yeah.
Rather than staying undisputed, to me, that's more important, taking that risk and going after greatness.
Yeah. Yo, see in that
he's got his money now. He's got a very special, unique sort of type of record where he's managed to pick up all the belts and defend fuck all of them so far. Well, except for one, but that's kind of really late in his career, if you know what I mean. So he's still to cement his legacy, because he's done things backwards in a way. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
but all over the place. But I totally agree. He says in that article that he'd like to retire at the top, and I'm thinking, well, even if you beat White, you're not at the top. So there's more to do, because he hasn't fought the people he needs to fight to declare himself the best. Maybe he is lineal champion if you buy it, but having both Usyk and Joshua, two of the guys that are at the top of the division he hasn't fought, I don't think he can call himself the best. at this point. Not saying he can't be, but shit. I think there's at least one more fight after White to cement any kind of legacy for me.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
James Jameson also in the house. Nanu. Good to see you, man. White gonna stop Fury, he says. Wow. Mark my words.
Earlier late.
I'll mark those words for sure, James, but you know what? I would love to see White stop Fury. I don't think he's gonna do it, but if it does happen, I'll be jumping around laughing my ass off. With all these shenanigans that Fury and Bob Arum and Frank Warren have played with this purse bid and percentages and what they've done to White. Yeah, I'd like to see White win, but realistically, I think my initial pick, talking with the boys, I think round 10 stoppage to Fury is what I'm thinking, but we're still a few weeks away yet. Have you got any thoughts on a prediction yet, Tommy?
I reckon, something similar. I reckon, because let's face it, White's probably just as durable as Chisora, right? Yep. And Chisora took a considerable beating off Fury twice, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's going to be a late stoppage.
Yeah. Now, see, Fury
it's
also
not going to be mid rounds. It's going to be late. So it's going to be nine onwards. Yeah,
I agree. Tyson's talking about possibly trying to come in the heaviest he's ever come in, 278, I think, something like that. And a lot of people will think that Tyson's going to try and do a bit more moving in this fight, and I think it's not a bad idea because I think White's a lot better on the inside than Wilder if you want to compare, and I think White can do a lot more damage to Fury on the inside, so it would make sense to try and keep it a bit longer. But if he's going to move a lot, he's going to need a bit less weight on. But people say if he's that heavy, he's going to gas, blah blah blah. Tyson Fury's...
But it all depends whether or not if he can dictate the pace, then he can. The weight's not too much of an issue. Do you know what I mean? If you can dictate the pace.
Exactly. I was just going to get to a point about Tyson Fury and his weight. No, it's no biggie. He's a kind of guy who can carry weight and still maintain a hell of a good fitness level and conditioning. It's a little unusual, but I get this theory from, I know Joseph Parker is pretty damn fit all the time. He's a pretty much professional when it comes to coming into a fighting condition, and he can't keep up with Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury's 280 pounds in training, so
when you say keep up in doing a certain exercise, or in what context?
Like on long runs. And when you start getting up to 10 and 12 rounds of sparring, Joe keeps saying...
Oh, I see what you mean.
He's just a phenomenon when it comes to fitness, even though he's carrying that weight and doesn't look like he's that fit.
Apparently Fury has ridiculous lung capacity.
Yeah. I mean, a dude that size has got to have big lungs, but you do the right kind of training and you can still maintain... I guess it comes down to genes as well.
Lung capacity is largely genetic. The adaptation with your lungs in terms of fitness training is apparently it's very minor. It's more your heart that does, and your capillaries. You develop more capillaries around your body. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you've got more capacity for traffic, but your lungs themselves, that's largely genetic. The size of them, and they don't get bigger from training, as far as I understand.
You can increase lung capacity with extensive swimming. I know when I was young, I used to be quite a good swimmer, competitive swimmer, and I'm only a smallish kind of guy. I'm only like 5'8", but I had a 5-litre lung capacity, which is pretty big for a teenager.
Are you talking about single breath?
Yeah, one single breath.
Yeah.
But when I stopped swimming and through my 20s, I still swam, but not competitively and whatnot. My lung capacity shrunk down to 4 litres.
Damn.
And I haven't tested it for a while now, but I'm guessing nowadays, at 40 something years old, early 40s, my lung capacity would probably only be 3.5 litres tops these days. You know, but when you're fit all the
time, you went
time.
swimming?
Sorry,
When was the last time you went swimming?
was it fun? Sorry.
No, when was the last time you went swimming?
Oh, last time I went swimming.
Yeah.
I take my boys up to the pool once a week at least, but
Oh, sweet.
I can't do laps and things when I've got 2 young kids to look after in the pool, so yeah. But yeah. Anyways, you get to a point in fitness, and I think what you're talking about, the lung capacity, can't be increased from that level of fitness. You know, it doesn't matter how much fitter you are. If you're already fit in what you've been doing, your lung capacity's pretty much fixed, I think. But
no, I was thinking from the point of view, right? There's probably 2 ways to measure the breath of the lungs. One is the volume, and the other one is how rapidly you can exhale.
Yep.
Exhale. And the more you train, the stronger the more conditioned your lower abs are from rapid breathing. Does that make sense?
it does, yeah.
Yeah, so you can get that extra push when you need to do that, like 1 rep max when it comes to breathing out, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's a measure of fitness in itself, but that will diminish from being inactive quite quickly.
For sure. And with all those traits with your lung capacity and how quick you can get air through the airways, all going to contribute to what James is talking about here, recovery rate, I guess. So
Yeah.
I think Tyson Fury is just a bit different to most guys that are that size. Something to do with his genes or how he trains. I'm not sure what it is, but
There might be a little bit of PEDs in there.
bit of balls and
Mixed
nuts. Yeah. What's this? James Jameson. Malik Scott is world class cliff diver. He actually had a fight last week. Did he? Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Malik Scott had a fight. I think it was in Germany or something. I'm gonna just quickly look that up because I'm pretty sure he lost to some dude that I never, some MMA fighter or something. Okay, I'll just look it up here. Malik Scott BoxRec. Oh, Malik, sorry, not Malik. Yeah, he lost a unanimous decision over 12 rounds to... Oh no, that's Luis Ortiz. It's not listed there. So it mustn't have been a sanctioned fight of any sort. But he definitely had a fight against some MMA fighter last... Maybe Google will tell me who it is. Give me a sec here. Malik Scott.
And did he win or lose? Though?
I'm sure he lost. But finding a story here. News. What do we got? Deontay Wilder coach. Oh, here it is. Deontay Wilder coach. Malik Scott loses notoriously to MMA star in Russia. Let's open this up and have a look here.
Oh, a bit of Russian home cooking.
I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear this through Discord, but we'll give it a go, Tommy.
Deontay Wilder coach Malik Scott
You hearing
loses
it?
notoriously to MMA star in Russia. Phil J.
No,
March
I can
27th,
switch to YouTube if it
2022.
helps.
Deontay Wilder coach Malik Scott got back in the ring for the first time in 6 years as the American traveled to
Hold on.
Russia last week for his return. Since losing to Luis Ortiz in 2016, Scott concentrated on training other fighters and joined forces with Wilder in 2020. Deontay Wilder improvement. Credited for improving Wilder for his trilogy with Tyson Fury in the 2021 Fight of the Year, Scott accepted an offer for an exhibition comeback. The fight quickly became notorious for 2 reasons, though. One is that the odd guy traveled to Russia during the war on
Who
Ukraine.
the hell is he?
And 2, for the shocking verdict at the end. Despite looking sharp and controlling a
Have you
lot of the
been
contest,
following
Russian
the news
MMA
about the
legend Sergei
new
Maratonis saw his hand
ESBC game?
raised.
I'm subscribed to the channel. I haven't seen any updates for a little bit, but me and Hannibal have been kind of having little bets about whether it's going to come out this year or not. We had little bets between whether it was going to come out last year or not. I was hopeful that we might get it for Christmas last year, but
Yeah, same.
I'm hopeful that we might get it for the coming Christmas, but after being told it's coming for so long, I'm starting to have my doubts whether it's going to come out before Christmas coming now. So, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. But the game looks nice. I like how it's looking, but I want to get my hands on it and have a test. I'm disappointed that they... because they were going to do an early release. What was it? I can't remember what it's called. Where you can play it on PC and give feedback, so they can make improvements before the full release. But they scrapped that idea and said, no, we're getting enough feedback just from comments. So, well, how can you get proper feedback when people haven't actually played it? They're just looking at the graphics. That's all they're doing. So... I was disappointed, but well, yeah, I'm gonna keep my fingers, toes, and eyes and nuts crossed that we get it before Christmas.
Well, apparently EA is got something in the works as well.
Who was that? Sorry,
EA,
EA.
Electronic Arts. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the first I've heard of that. I know there's round for round boxing is being developed as well at the moment.
Yeah, who's making that?
I can't remember who's making it, but it's not EA. I think Blue Steel was
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Blue Steel, I think that's who's making one we were just talking about.
What round for round?
ESBC, I think that's Blue Steel.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong. But I know there's a few fighters signed up for that round for round boxing. I see DMC McKean was signed up for it. I see Joseph Parker was signed up for it. I think Murat Gassiev was signed up for it, and there's some American fighters are signing up for it as well. So, but that's another one. I kind of found out about that one at the same time as I found out about Esports Boxing Club, and they're both tracking along the same thing. You know, it's coming, but fuck, is it ever gonna get here?
Well, the thing is, what they have is very steep competition because it's their first game, and you got to remember, even with the Fight Night series, there was so many games in that series, and they tried so many different mechanics. So the new game has to be better than the old ones for it really not to get canned.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it.
I was seeing some of the videos with the development that they're doing to get real movements in the game. They've got hundreds of cameras in a room while a boxer does his thing, throws a few shots, just shadow boxing, but they're putting a lot of work into it, so I hope they don't just
but I've got a feeling it might turn out like a game called LA Noire. Do you remember that?
I'll have to look that one up. I don't know it, mate.
Okay, Rockstar the ones who make GTA.
Okay.
They made a sort of a detective series back in the 50s. It was sort of black and white, where you had to go and interview a lot of different people, and they did this motion art sort of capture with 14 different cameras at different angles. Anyway, the whole thing was really, really expensive to produce, but the capture of the facial animations is still the best that we've got to this day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, once you watch the trailer for it, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because it was made for the 360 and the PS3. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what it is. Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So, how was your training with? Because you've got Fightnight Champion and an Xbox One now, don't you? So, oh no, you got not Xbox One. Sorry, you got the Flash one, didn't you?
No, I've got the Xbox One.
I thought you got an Xbox. Oh, One X. Okay, yeah.
One X.
I thought you had a Series X for a second. I was like, ooh, you got the Flash one. So you've been playing a bit, and you're ready for a match one of these days?
Yeah. One of these days, I have to get used to my stamina.
Yeah.
I need to stop blowing out my stamina, because that's why I'm getting knocked out.
Yep. Don't miss, even if you hit a block, is the big thing. You know, you can throw punches and hit a block, and you won't burn half as much stamina. But also, if you step and you get hit while you're stepping, that takes heaps out of you. So,
because your feet aren't underneath you.
yeah. So, yeah, lots of little tips, but there's quite a few guys on YouTube who put out tutorials. One of the best around is Fight Night's Finest.
Yeah, I've been following him for a bit, actually.
Yeah, he can teach you how to not blow your stamina. And a good way to practice is fighting the CPU, because the stamina and everything seems to drain a lot faster on there than it does on online fights. So they put a whole lot of patches on online fights to make it easier.
Mm-hmm. The problem I've got with that game, though, is that the controls are very different to round 3. Because in round 3, you have to think about your defense, specifically what quarter of your body you're trying to defend.
Yeah.
In Fightnight Champion, it's passive defense. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah, you can block high and they punch you down, but it still blocks it somewhat, even though your hands don't go down. But it doesn't seem to matter whether you're blocking left or right whatsoever. Up and down does seem to. If you can't punch somebody and they're blocking too much, if you throw a heavy shot down and a heavy shot up, one of them's going to land. Just how you can get through. But yeah, left and right, like I was saying, it doesn't matter if you're leaning left or right or blocking. Either way, it's going to block it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And the other thing that I would like to see in the new boxing games is first person view.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You can change views on Fight Night Champion, but you can't get that first person view. It's odd. What's Phil saying here? I think the fight was in Belarus. Yeah, it was in Russia, which is interesting. I don't know why Malik Scott went over there. They must have been offering him a shitload of money to go and fight this Karatanov guy. Apparently he's a Russian.
Boxing or MMA, or was it an MMA fighter?
No, it was boxing. And it was only this Karatanov's second fight. He had his debut against Danny Williams, apparently.
Jesus, Danny Williams.
He's still kicking around. Unbelievable. I think he
seriously.
I think he had a fight not long ago. I heard he was fighting somebody. It's crazy. Why do guys hang around that long, man? They just ask him for it.
You know, Danny Williams turned down sponsorship from a company that makes baked, cakes. because of his because he's he's Muslim. He didn't want to be seen promoting something that's bad for you, and that's when he was he was successful. So it comes to think of it, he's putting his health on the line fighting at this point in his career.
Yeah, definitely.
He's not sharp like he used to be.
He's a really odd dude, eh? I think a lot of his social media names is the odd guy or something like that. But Phil's just saying in the chat here, he just watched some highlights of the fight, and they both got dropped in the fight. And to me, that makes me wonder whether this Kharitonov guy is shot as well, because if you're getting dropped by Malik Scott, you shouldn't be in the ring, because that dude's got hands that couldn't even knock out a pillow.
Well, is it the MMA guy's first boxing match?
I think
because
it was
they
his
stand
second.
differently. Okay, but it was his first. Was it his first time against someone who has been at world class level?
Depends. I'm gonna look up Danny Williams and see if it's listed. Hold on. See if he's got more than 2 fights. But that one wasn't sanctioned with Malik Scott, so I wouldn't be surprised if any other fights he's had weren't sanctioned either. Danny Williams, box rec. 54 and 30. Surely that's not him.
Danny Williams.
Yeah, I might be looking at the wrong Danny Williams.
God, even Rocky Balboa doesn't have a record that bad.
Man, Kamil Sokolovsky's got a better record than that. I can't. Oh, there he is. Sergey Kharitonov. Found him. So his professional record says 2-0. And who's this guy? He's fought Osborne Mcdermott, who was 23 and 14 when he fought him, and Danny Williams was his pro debut. So he's had at least 3 boxing matches. But this Kharitonov, where is his age? He's 41. So yeah, there you go. He's well past it. Not worth talking about now, I think. This weekend.
Can I just say something about Danny Williams? I was actually following Danny Williams whenever he was. Now I'm trying to think. Was it before or after he fought Klitschko? But he was on a good string of wins at some point, and then he came across a young Derek Chisora, and Chisora blasted him out, I think, in 3 or 4 rounds. But that's when Derek was young and had, seriously, his output was ridiculous then. Yeah, he just threw and threw and threw. That was actually a good performance from Chisora against Danny Williams.
Just looking through his record now to find where the spot you were talking about was with his wins and whatnot.
Down to early in Chisora's career. But it was for a title, I don't know if it was Commonwealth or something like that. Or it might have been just British title.
Wow. Well, I'm down to 2013. It must be somewhere close to that. Oh, he fought Myers Breeders too. Didn't know that. He lost, of course. 2 rounds out of 6. He got knocked the fuck out. He fought Dennis Baktov as well. Shit, Christian Hammer. Oh, it must be getting close to Klitschko. Mohammed Cha, or Mahmoud Cha, he fought him as well. That was back when Cha was 17-0. Far out. Oh yeah, Christ,
Okay, it was 2010. when Danny
there
Williams
is.
fought Derek Chisora.
Derek Chisora, yeah, on the 15th of May. Derek Chisora at the time was 12-0. He was a beast. Yeah, it was two rounds.
2 rounds.
Yeah, knocked him out in the second of 12. Wow. Derek was a beast back in the day, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a hella beast. He fought John
God, that was
McDermott even
12
too.
years ago.
The Fury killer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Split decision over 12. Danny Williams and John McDermott.
John McD.
I fought him twice. First time he beat John McDermott with a majority decision. Second time he lost on a split decision. That was competitive. It goes to show Danny Williams back in his day was pretty decent, really. I mean, John McDermott was decent in his time too. I thought he beat Fury in that first fight.
Yeah, so did I.
Danny Williams also fought Konstantin Ancic when he was 9-0, and he beat him. Where's Klitschko?
2015?
Really? I must have gone past it.
You talking about Fury?
No. Danny Williams.
Story. Oh god, that would have been 2000. Oh, that would have been earlier than that.
Far out. Some old names I'm seeing here. Jesus, it's been a while. Matt Skelton. Far out.
Oh, Matt Skelton. He was iron until he hit like 42. But up until that point, that guy was just. He was tough as fucking nails.
Yeah.
But he was just in too many wars, and he was only fighting because he wanted to make more money.
Yeah, it's all he
The only
knew.
reason it was. Yeah.
He fought Danny Williams twice, and Danny beat him the first time, but Skelton beat Danny Williams the second time around by UD.
Schooled him. I mean, completely changed his style, and it was Matt Skelton. You would never think had the ability to have that kind of style or skill, or the ability to change his style in the first place.
Yeah, he's got a big heart and a good chin, so they can carry you away if you're good enough. Oh shit! Danny Williams only lost to Audley Harrison by split decision. So wow.
No, he got knocked out as well. They fought 3 times.
Oh, they fought 3 times? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this one I'm looking at was over 12. When was that?
That would have been the second.
2005. What else we got here? Oh, there we go. He fought Vitaly Klitschko. And he got knocked out in 8 rounds out of 12. Did he fight Vladimir as well?
No,
just Vitaly.
no.
And there we go.
Sorry.
The one... Oh, Danny Williams fought Mike Tyson and got knocked out in the 4th. That was way back.
No, he knocked out Tyson.
Oh, sorry, he knocked out Tyson in the 4th round. That's the fight that Danny Williams got known for, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one that made him famous.
Was
But
that
to be fair, Tyson tore his ligaments in his knee in that fight.
Yeah. Was that the last? That was the last fight that he fought before retiring, eh? Mike Tyson.
No.
No.
Kevin McBride was his
Oh,
last
it was
fight.
Kevin McBride. That's right. And Kevin McBride beat
Yeah,
him too, eh?
That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing, that fight, because Tyson was so out of shape. He was asking the referee to get him up. Do you remember?
Go on, bro. Help me up. Yeah.
Help me up.
Okay. Reminiscing on that stuff. Anyways, weekend coming, we've got a few fights. We've got the Triple G v Ryota Murata this weekend. I'm looking forward to that fight. It's in Japan, so it might be at a bit of an odd time that most aren't used to, but we'll see what happens.
Is that 168 or 160?
160.
160. I'm surprised he's still making 160.
Let's look up.
He fought 168 though, didn't he?
I think he's always been 160 and nothing but, hasn't he?
No, I swear he had one fight at 168 and he beat the guy, but it was a hard fight. But he knocked the guy out in 5 rounds, I think. I can't remember who it was.
Bringing up his record now anyway, so we're about to find out. Gennady Ganaevich Golovkin, 41-1 with 1 draw, fighting Ryota Murata this weekend, who's 16-2. So, looking for weights. 159, 159. There we go. That one's over. 163. Steve Rolls. That was. I don't know if it was. Don't know if it was a catch weight or not, but it's definitely over 160. He knocked out Steve Rolls in 4 rounds. That was after the second. Sure. That was after the second Alvarez fight. Directly after.
Yeah, maybe it was that one. 163. So that's not for a title. That's not defense, is it?
I don't think so. Where'd it go? Steve Rolls. Nah, it hasn't got anything to do with titles written there. It's just got the referees and shit. So must have been a catch weight, I imagine. 159, 159.
What straps has Triple G got at the minute, if any?
He's only got one, I think. Where is it? Titles held. International Boxing Organization World Middleweight title. That's the IBO. IBF, he has middleweight title. Those are the only 2 titles he's holding right now. IBF and IBO.
IBF is legit.
Yeah. Ryota Murata is the mandatory for the IBF, so I'm sure that's what's going on with that. I think that's the case anyway. Correct me in the chat, peeps, if I'm wrong. Is Ryota Murata the IBF mandatory for middleweight? Yeah. Phil Carl Roberts.
Just said Ryota.
Ryota Murata.
Ryota Murata. Ryota Murata.
Japanese fighter. He's pretty decent. I mean, if Triple G's declined in the time he spent out of the ring, there's a possibility he could get beaten here. Ryota Murata throws a lot of punches. He's not really that heavy-handed, I don't think. But he gets stoppages through volume, really, usually. His last fight, he got a 5th round stoppage of Stephen Butler, sorry. He beat Rob Brandt as well in a fight before that. I think he fought him twice. Yeah, he did. He fought Rob Brandt twice. The first time he lost to Rob Brandt by UD, but the second time he knocked him out in the 2nd round. So he made sure there was no controversy on that 2nd time round. Who else has he got here? There's not really a lot of other names that I know. They all look foreign on his record. Hasim Indam Injikam. Don't know that fella. He was 36, 2-6 though. He fought that dude twice. I'm not going to try and pronounce it twice. Bruno Sandoval, I know that name. He was 19-1. Yeah. So it should be a pretty decent fight this weekend. Have we got a... Let me see if there's a listed media. No, it doesn't. It's got promoter... Akim. Yeah, no, I haven't got any listed media, but there'll definitely be some way to watch that for sure. But But also we have the return of Ryan Garcia fighting Emmanuel to go this weekend. Can't say I'm looking forward to seeing Ryan in the ring against a subpar opponent, but he has been out of the ring for quite some time with his loopy issues, so hopefully he's back and he can work his way towards fighting a champion instead of talking about how shit the champions are when he's not even fighting them. It's pretty crap of him to do that sort of thing. But another fight this weekend that I am looking forward to is Eriksen Lubin is going to be taking on the towering Inferno Sebastian for what's his name? Fondora. That big long gangly, was he 6'4", 6'6", goddamn middleweight? It's crazy. But I think Lubin should be able to get to him. I mean, Fondora's unbeaten. He looked a little shaky in his last fight that I saw. But he's a weird fighter. He's so big, but he gives away his height and reach and fights on the inside with these small guys. So what the hell are you doing, dude? So I'll look up Eriksen Lubin and we'll find out more about Sebastian Fondora. You know much about Fondora, Tommy?
No, I can't say I do, John. Sorry.
Fair enough. If you've seen him, you'd probably go, "Oh, that dude." He's been fighting in America for quite a while. That didn't work. Eriksen Lubin box rec. There we go. So this fight, of course, will be on Showtime in the US. Eriksen Lubin is 24-1. I think the one loss was to Errol Spence, was it? No, he's bigger than that. Super welter, 154. Who did he lose to at 154? Can't remember. It was a knockout loss, I remember that much. Eriksen Lubin. Well, let's scroll down. Someone's gonna beat me to it in the chat. It was a first round knockout. He got some malt. Oh, it was Jamal Charlo. That's right, I remember now. Yeah, Eriksen Lubin. He's a southpaw too, I think. Off the top of my head. Where is he? Starts. Oh, yeah, he's southpaw. Southpaw, 5'9". Okay, let's look up his opponent. Southpaw at 5'9". Remember that. Sebastian Fondora, 6'5.5". Holy shit, with an 80-inch reach. He's also a southpaw, but he is huge. 6'5.5". He's the same height as who's 6'5"? Johan Dorper. Crazy. He's a beanpole, man, big time. But I see there was quite a bit on that card. Let's see who else is on there. Tony Harrison. He's going to be fighting Sergio Garcia. Oh, really? He's still fighting too? Far out. Who else is on here? Kevin some dude, 14-0. What's that weight? Welterweight. Better try and pronounce it, I suppose. Kevin Zombrano is his name. Never heard of the dude. He's going to be fighting Brian Perella. That could be a decent fight. I think Perella's a bit underrated. Good welterweight scrap there. What else have we got here? Gionte. Genonte. Jesus, that's a hard mouthful. Genonte Clark. He's 15-2. He's going to be fighting Aaron Cooley, who is 16-3. That's also another welterweight fight. And the rest of the card, or most of it's welterweight. Here's a middleweight one. I don't know if those ones will be, these ones at the bottom of the card will be televised. So, but Showtime cards are picking up a bit lately. They usually put on a decent card on Showtime. I don't usually like the Fox cards; they're a bit crap. But yeah, that's the two fights I'm looking forward to this weekend, being Eriksen Lubin and Sebastian Fondora, and the other one being shit, who was it? It's gone. I talked about it earlier anyway. Hey, have you ever heard of Ricky Gorman? Is he Nathan Gorman's little brother?
No, I haven't.
He is fighting this weekend, heavyweight debut. Ricky Gorman. I haven't looked him up yet, so I'll bring up a picture, see if he's a bald fatty and anything like Nathan. Ricky Gorman, box Rick.
Let's have a gander.
Oh, no picture, so it's not going to help us. Doesn't say anything about any amateur record either. But he is fighting this weekend. It's in the UK, and he's fighting a guy called Jack Darnell. I've heard the name before. I don't know who the hell he is, but he's 0-2, so don't expect him to be any kind of issues trying to fight. And this dude Darnell,
he's not a risky opponent by the sounds of it.
No, he's also got another fight scheduled as well against a guy called Jamie Anderson, who's 1-1. That's when's that due? The 22nd of the 4th, so the day before Fury and White. He'll be fighting again after he gets a hiding from Ricky Gorman this weekend. Who else is he fought? Oh yeah. Oh, he fought Fraser Clark. That's that dude. I know who he is now. It was Fraser Clark's debut. That's right. Shouldn't have even been in the ring with Fraser. Crazy.
Sweet. Jonathan, thanks for having me on. I'm going to bounce, so I'll be in the chat.
Okay, bro. Thanks for popping in. We'll
Thanks
catch you
very
next
much.
time, man.
Cheers,
Take it
man.
easy.
See you.
If any of y'all haven't already, pop over and check out Tommy's channel. It's the Boxing Lounge. He's doing a lot of gaming memes at the moment, and running full games as well. Plays a lot of Fightnight round 3, but it's working on playing a few other games as well. Alright, so I'll get back to the chat. I wonder how Triple G will look. He's going off a long layoff. Yeah, man, it's been a while since he's been in the ring. Most of us have seen a slight decline in his reaction. He tends to be getting hit a little bit more. Pardon me. He's a little bit slower. His feet are a little bit slower. But yeah, being out of the ring for such a long time, it's going to be interesting to see how much he has declined, and if he has declined too much, Murata can beat him, I think. Gennady Golovkin, look him up. When was his last fight? It's been quite some time. His last fight was on the 18th of August in 2020. Holy shit. He's been out of the ring a year and a half. Man, that's no good. That's no good. Did he have 2 fights? No, he didn't. He only had 1 fight in 2020. He had 2 in 2019, and then the last Canelo fight was the last Canelo fight was on the 15th of September 2018. Doesn't seem like that long ago, does it? But us old farts, I guess the time flies faster the older you get. But hopefully we will see a big drama show. Get this working. See Triple G back in action. You better win, or that third Canelo fight's down the tube, man. And it'll be kind of yeah. But hey, we'll see what happens. Right, back to the chat again, team. See if anybody's talking. Phil's still about. Is Canelo v Bivol cancelled? Oh, not that I've heard of. 7th of May was when it was going to be, as far as I can tell. Let's have a look. Boxrec, Canelo Alvarez. No, it's still listed on Boxrec for the 7th of May. So that should be happening. Just a reminder, we do have Zhili Zhang and Filip Hrgovic on that card. I'm looking forward to that. And we've also got Montana Love is going to be fighting on that card. He's going to be fighting Gabriel Coles. Gabriel Goles Valenzuela. Oh yeah, that guy. Valenzuela, I know him. Valenzuela's 25-2 with 1 draw. And Montana Love is 17-0 with 1 draw. I believe I saw the draw fight. Where is it? Who was it? The Montana Love draw fight was over 8 rounds against Kenneth Sims Jr. Yeah, I do remember that fight. Yeah, I saw that. I can't even remember what card it is. I'm not going to look it up. But yeah, we've got 3 fights confirmed for that card so far. 2 of them I'm really looking forward to. The super lightweight fight with Montana Love and Valenzuela. Meh, I don't give a shit. It's super lightweight. It's not really my forte. Once you start getting down below 147, I start losing interest unless it's a massive fight like Kambosos and Devin Haney, or the big names at those smaller weights I'll pay attention to, but the rest of them are just card fillers for me. But as you know, I am a big heavyweight fan, so it is what it is. I heard rumours, that's all. Okay, I wonder what that's about. Well, there's a lot of talk about Bivol shouldn't be fighting because he lives in Russia, but he wasn't born there. He just resides there. He doesn't believe in what Putin's doing, and he's not in Russia, so it is what it is. I've got nothing against Bivol. I mean, it's not, Bivol isn't Vladimir Putin, is he? Someone needs to shoot that punk. What else we got here? Oh, message retracted. Phil. Hannibal B is in the house. What's good, bro? What's good? Years older. Yeah, man. Triple G. I don't know, man. I've actually got a little bet on that I put on for the weekend. I scored a free cheap bet, so they didn't have options for any of the other fights, but I've put a bet on a 3-leg multi. I've got Golovkin by knockout. I've got Ryan Garcia just for a win, and Eriksen Lubin just for a win. Yeah, they didn't have options on those other two yet, so, and I had to use the bet up, so we'll see what happens. But it was paying like the multi was paying $4 or something, so 4 to 1. We'll see what happens come the weekend. But yeah, like I say, no heavyweights this weekend besides this Ricky Gorman is the only one that I thought I'd pay attention to. There's no other names that I know. A whole lot of bums or a whole lot of prospects fighting. And the same theme with heavyweights at the moment. They don't seem to be fighting guys that they don't know that they can beat. You know, it's all uncompetitive, predetermined winners. So why do people want to tune into that shit? You know, this is one of the reasons why I've been so inactive on YouTube, because there's just, when it comes to heavyweights, there's not a lot to talk about. The prospects that have been fighting haven't been fighting guys that they're going to get a decent amount of work in or anything. Yeah, thanks Hannibal, appreciate that. So yeah, it's been tough, and I'm not going to make content about, oh, this dude said that, this dude said this. That's not boxing, that's like fucking soap opera shit. If I want to watch soap operas, I don't need to be on YouTube, do I? So what are we? We are the 4th of April today here in New Zealand. That leaves 19 days until we get to see Fury v White. As far as I know, there ain't much else confirmed for that card yet. I'll have another look just to be sure. Tyson Fury box rec on Google always takes me straight to the right place. Here's the event, and we've still got only Isaac Lowe at 21-0 with 3 draws, fighting the almighty, unbeaten TBA. That's all we have on the card still. So, just step up, get the shit organized, Bob and Frank. Because, you know, it's already going to be lacking promotion without White being involved. And if you're not going to get the fight sorted out early, so fans, pardon me, can look up who they want to be watching, it's going to make it even tougher. So, meh. Because Warren is not trying. Still no undercut. I think Warren's shitting himself, to be honest. I think he's absolutely shitting himself with $41 million on the hook. Yo, that's a lot of money for a company that was already $6 million in the hole. TBA will pull out. Bit of the. Hold on, what do we got? TBA will pull out before the fight. He always does. He sure does. Unless Isaac Lowe pulls out. Either way, TBA won't be fighting. I have to make up a name for what TBA might stand for. Tragic business sense. No, tragic, terrible business asshole. I don't know. Give us some suggestions for a nickname for TBA. Come on, guys. You must be able to do better than me. Iron Kong in the house. Good to have you in. It's just a crazy one today, Iron. If you want to jump on, there's a link up the top pinned. Been yarning about some articles that are on boxing scene about Fury, saying he wants to retire at the top, and I'm saying no, he ain't at the top. And talking about Joshua and what we're wanting to control everything when it came to the step-aside deal that they were trying to organise. Oh, man, Tyson Fury is just full of shit to me. Whatever he speaks, I don't even pay any attention to anymore. I don't expect anybody else to anymore. So dude just talks so much shit. So much shit. So come on, guys. What's this nickname we're going to give for the almighty TBA? What does it stand for? It's got to be something witty so we can start using it. Mofo's on a lot of cards at the moment. Top boxing analyst? No, that's not even witty. Terrible boxing analyst. Total boxing arbitration. I don't know, man. Come on, guys. TBA. Taibisu Achunu. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna go and have a quick look up on social media, because I know Junior Fa and Hemi the Heat Ahio are going to be fighting in separate fights on the Kambosos v Haney undercard on the 5th of June. Still no ideas about who they might be fighting, but if I go and have a look, probably won't find anything on Hemi Ahio's social media because he's really slack with his. But Junior Fa's a bit more consistent with his media posts. Try Facebook first. Junior seems to be most active on Facebook rather than Twitter, so we'll have a look see. Junior Fa. Ah, crap. Put it in the wrong place. Put it in the URL, not in the Facebook search. It's gone to the wrong place. Searching like an amateur today. Alright, here we go. Facebook. That's not the search. That's why. That's the browser search, you muppet. You muppet. Huh. Has Facebook changed again? Can't seem to find the search. That's the browser. Oh, there we go. There's a search. There we go. Junior Fa. Ioane Fa Jr. is actually his real name. And I've got him as a friend on Facebook. He accepted my request. What do we got here? 2nd of April. Showing highlights of a fight. Someone else. Something with his kids. Come on, where is it? It's gotta be something. Maybe I went on the wrong one. This is his personal Facebook. Might need to find his. There we go. What's this? Junior Fa with no photo. That's not him. Here he is. Professional boxer. This one. Maybe we'll get some boxing news here. Nope. Nah, futile search. Not getting anywhere with that. I was thinking maybe one of them might fight Kikito Latale, another New Zealand 6'4" heavyweight, but he's going to be fighting Justice Huni in a while. I'll bring that up. Justice Huni. There he is, the Australian heavyweight champion at 5-0, missed the Olympics because of injury. Yeah, he's going to be fighting Kikito Latale on the 11th of May. Kikito Latale is 7-1-2. I believe his last fight out was Julius Long. No, it wasn't. What? Dempsey McKean. Oh, that's right. He fought Dempsey McKean. And it went the distance over 10. And it was a UD. And from what I understand, I think I saw Latale commenting say he thinks he won that fight against Dempsey McKean. I didn't see it, so I can't comment too much on it. But I'm just looking up what the judges thought of the cards. I know it was in Australia, so that would have helped Dempsey's cause, and this was just before he signed with Matchroom, I think. Scorecards: 98, 92, 97, 93, and 98, 92. So it was a clear wide decision. I don't know why he thinks he possibly won that fight. I might be thinking of a different fight. The fight before that was a draw against Julius Long, the 7'2" monster. He's well past it. That might have been the fight he was talking about, actually. That was only over 6 rounds. That would have suited Julius Long because he's old, he's out of shape. When he gets past 6 rounds, he starts getting in trouble, as we saw with Hemi Ahio the second time around. I think the first time Hemi and him fought was only 6 or 7 rounds. 6. Yeah, it might have only been 6 rounds the first time and it went to decision. By the second time round, it was 8 rounds and Hemi knocked him out in the 7th, I think. Okay, so Latale has also fought Jason Aloisi. I've seen him fight a few times, definitely journeyman level. And he beat Jason Aloisi. There's another draw, a couple of draws on his record here somewhere. Where are they? There's one. His first professional fight, Kikito Latale, was against Daniel Tai, who went the distance with Hemi Ahio as well in the New Zealand title fight. But Hemi had slippery shoes in that fight, so he couldn't really punch as hard. Yeah, so he's facing Justice Huni. I expect he's going to get the snot beaten out of him in that fight, to be honest. I'm just bringing up the event to see what else is on there. It is definitely in Australia. It's going to be on Australian main event boxing. They're the company who's pretty much had a monopoly on Australian boxing for quite some time, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are the ones doing the pay-per-view in Australia for Kambosos v Haney. There'll probably be pay-per-view here in New Zealand as well, I imagine. Myris Bredis. Okay, this card. Oh, that's right. Because Jai Opataya is the mandatory for Myris Bredis. Now, Myris Bredis is coming down to Australia to fight him, to face his mandatory, so that's going to be interesting. Jai Opataya, I don't think he's really fought anybody of any real note at cruiserweight just yet. Daniel Russell was his last fight. Has he fought exclusively in Australia? Fighting Australians by the looks of it. Benjamin Kalich, don't know him. Mark Flanagan, oh, I know him. 24-7. He beat him. Did Jai Opataya. Nicholas Charalampus. Oh, he's a Kiwi guy, I know him. Nick Charalampus. I remember, actually, I did see him fight Charalampus. It was a UD over 10 and Charalampus thought he won it and he wanted a rematch. Standing there, the post-fight interviews saying, I won that fight, we need a rematch, come and get it. While his face is all smashed in. It was pretty funny. Alright, we've got Iron Kong in the house. How are you today, bro?
You hear me, man?
I got you loud and clear, brother.
Bro, I was here fighting through all this crap. I was like, how the hell do I join this Discord server? What is this Discord business? I never seen this before. What is this?
Yeah, it's foreign to a lot of people. But once you're in, it's pretty easy. So next time, because
this is some new shit.
Yeah, next time you come in, you won't have to sign up or anything. You just hit that link and it'll drop you straight in the channel.
What's going down, man? I mean, thank you for having me on, man. You know,
no problem, man.
You know.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking into this card that what's his name? Justice Huni is going to be fighting one of our Kiwi heavyweights over here. His name's Kiki Toalatali. But I just noticed the main event on the card is Myris Bredis. He's fighting as mandatory in Jai Opataya in Australia. So do you know much about Jai Opataya yourself?
Nah, man. You know, you're the correspondent from Oceania, so you know you're educating me on these people.
Fair enough. Now
the only people I know from that side was tour time, baby, and of course Mark Hunt and these people. That's who I really know. I don't know these new guys. Justice Hooney. I'm old, so you know.
Hey man, I'm old as well. It's all good. No, so yeah, this Justice Hooney and Kiki Toalatali fight should be pretty straightforward walk in the park, I think, for Justice Hooney. But I'm interested in this Myris Bredis and Jai Opataya. This Jai Opataya hasn't really fought anybody of note. I think he's fought exclusively in Australia so far, but he's made his way to the mandatory position. But I see
the IBF mandatory.
I think so, actually. I'm not 100% sure.
That's something that the IBF has an issue with, right? So, remember Josh Taylor fought the IBF mandatory some years ago. I think he was from Thailand or someplace. The guy was terrible, absolutely terrible. You know, you see Triple G fight Zrimata, who was awful, and I guess the IBF just goes through their rankings and just is like, look, man, you're next up. I don't care who you fought. Just go ahead, get in there.
Yeah, we don't seem to hear much about final eliminators anymore for them, do we? Yeah. It used to be like, you know, you fight an IBF eliminator, you're going to get a shot, but now it seems that the mandatories are just getting appointed. You don't hear about no eliminators, and half of the mandatories are just gash. They shouldn't even be there. So I'm just looking up the rankings for IBF at cruiserweight and see if it is officially Jai Opataya the mandatory. Just give me a sec here. Middleweights, no cruiser we want. I noticed they're still not listing bridgerweight rankings on boxing scene, so they're not really recognizing it yet. Right, here we go. It's
ridiculous. Nobody wants to know. What's interesting, you know, the IBF, I don't know if it's still like that, but the IBF had an issue where sometimes they don't even rank that, you know, they don't even have a number 1 and number 2 rank.
Right now they have no. Yeah, right now they don't have a 1 and 2 for cruiserweight.
They don't?
No.
Wow. I see that they had this issue where they don't have 1 and 2. It was like that with Joshua for a while, where they didn't have a 1 and 2. It was like for other people where there's no 1 and 2, and then the guy fights number 4. What's the point then? Shouldn't you make 4 and 3 fight for a number 1 spot and bring the people up accordingly? I don't understand. Like, it's so strange.
It is indeed. I can understand them maybe leaving the number 1 open if there's no mandatory, and when there's a mandatory determined, they drop that into number 1, so there's none of this confusion about being number 1 and mandatory. But why is number 2 empty? That makes no sense to me.
Exactly. Who's number 3?
Number 3 for the IBF at cruiserweight is Chris Billam-Smith.
So why not make Billam-Smith and what's his name fight for the mandatory and allow Breeders to just fight Okoli? Make these 2 fight at the very least for the mandatory. How is it different for Filip Hrgovic, where he has to fight a mandatory, not just get a straight shot?
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, I'm just looking at it. Joe Opataya is actually ranked 4th with the IBF. I'm sure they're publicizing him as the mandatory for something, but he's not he's not even number 1 or number 2 for any sanctioning body here. It's weird shit. I don't know. But I can't understand why Maurice Breeders had come all the way down to Australia to fight a guy who's not as mandatory. It's not going to make him a lot of money. It's weird.
Maybe. I mean, you never know, because it ain't shit. Maybe nobody wants that fight in Latvia. So maybe the Australians... Sorry, is he Australian or is he New Zealander?
He's Australian, yeah.
Okay, so maybe they're going to pay big money to bring him down. Probably package it with... I don't know if the people who manage him also work with Tim Zoo's people or these people. So maybe they're going to package it with something else, because it's not like Breeders is some sort of global superstar. As you said, this guy Opataya hasn't fought much of anybody, so...
Yeah.
Maybe it's packaged with something else.
Must be, yeah, I can't think too much about it. It's baffling me, to be honest. So just having a quick look at the rest of the card, and it's pretty not really worth talking too much about. But I'm sure you would like to get in on some of the articles I discussed earlier about Tyson Fury saying he wants to retire at the top.
Hold on. Question for you. Wouldn't it make more sense for Wasserman, being the management and promoter of Breeders, to make Opataya come to wherever they don't they have some big deal with Sky now? Wouldn't that be a good fight for Sky or something? Like, I don't. Maybe the Australians are paying big money, man. You never know. Maybe.
I don't even know who the main promoters are in Australia, to be honest. But I guess just with the state of Australian boxing at a bit of a peak at the moment, I guess, with George Kambosos and the big fight that's going to happen down there. I mean, we've got a few other guys that are worth mentioning. Maybe there is some decent money down in Australia at the moment. Because, yeah,
man.
There must be. I can't think of any other reason why these names would be coming down here. So... it's crazy, but yeah, I don't know why Maurice Breeders isn't trying to fight Lawrence Okoli, like you said. That's a must-happen fight. So
yeah, just make Billam-Smith and Opataya fight. That's a good fight for both of them, I think. But I don't know Opataya's skill level, but it would be good for him to fight at least a somewhat world level. I don't know if you consider Billam-Smith world level. He's not impressive to me, but at the very least European level, and see where he is. Or does his people just want him to get his shot and that's it?
Who knows, man? I'm going to have to do a bit more research on that. It kind of snuck up on me. I didn't even know about it until I looked at that card, because I was looking for a heavyweight. So I'll have to touch on that a bit more next time around. It's on the 11th of May. So got a little bit to go yet. But yeah. Tyson Fury saying he's happy to retire at the top. Why not get injured? My comments to that were he's not at the top unless he fights the top guys. But then he carried on with another article saying that he was disappointed that Joshua and White were trying to control everything when they were trying to sort of step aside, but didn't mention anything about his arbitration case getting in the way, of course. But, do you believe anything that comes out of Tyson Fury's mouth at the moment?
Nah, man, I never believe nothing that come out of that dude's mouth. That guy is the biggest flake in the world, and it's like he lies about things that are so easily debunked. Like, and it's lying about things that are unnecessary. You know, like, why are you lying about this? Like, of course, the person who you're trying to get step aside, he's in control because he has the power to say yes or no. So of course Joshua is going to be in control of that. Well, what do you think this is?
Yeah, man.
You know, if I mean, you know, it's like when Wilder was in control of the Joshua Tyson Fury undisputed. He was in control. He could have stepped aside.
Yeah.
But he was in control. That's just how it goes. The person who is being offered step aside is in control. They can say yes or no.
It's definitely.
You know, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not only for step aside too. It's just for anybody being offered a deal. They have the power to say yes or no. So I don't know how this control freak stuff comes from Tyson Fury. It's crazy.
I don't know what he's talking about. He has a weird obsession with, I guess, control, because I guess maybe he thinks he's usually in control of people's minds or whatever. But I guess he saw that Joshua and Dillian White, and currently Dillian White, really don't give a monkeys about him. They really don't. They're gonna do what they want to do, and you just, you know, maybe he's mad that he thinks he's number one, and they should kowtow to him, and they're telling him no.
You hit the nail on the head there, man. That's what it is. He thinks he's number one, and he's not happy about anybody saying he ain't. But fact of the matter is, if he wants to retire, fight White, beat him, and then fight the winner of Usyk Joshua, beat that person, and then you got the right to say I'm the best and you can retire, and nobody's going to question it.
I got it. I got you. I mean, when he's saying, "Oh, I'm going to retire after the White fight," he's not going to retire. There's a lot of money out there for him, and as much as Tyson Fury likes to say he's not a businessman, he's as greedy as anybody else. Okay?
Hell to the year.
Exactly. I don't want to hear none of this, "Oh, Tyson Fury's not about money." I'm like, what? What? You know, let's not go there. He's greedy like anybody else, and I don't blame him. If you're a boxer or whatever, and you can earn a certain amount, earn your certain amount. But let's stop acting, shall we? You know what I'm saying? Acting like you're so much different to somebody. Like Joshua is the greedy one. Joshua should have asked for double whatever you're offering. If you're offering me step aside, I have the right for whatever I want to ask for.
Damn right.
And that's just what it is. I mean, he don't particularly want to step aside. And if I don't particularly want to step aside and you still want me to step aside, well, here's my price. This. Pay that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I don't know what his problem is, to be honest. All this "I'm gonna retire" stuff is just a way to build a fight between him and Dillian White. He's upset because Dillian White is not going hat in hand to him and playing along with his little shtick, little masquerade that he wants to put on a big show for everybody. Whatever, man.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, so we've got 19 days, well, it'll be 20 days until that fight is happening between White and Fury. I'm looking forward to it. I really do hope White knocks the smart lying mouth off Tyson Fury. I don't see it's going to happen. I'm thinking about a round 10 stoppage for Fury, but I'll keep my fingers crossed for White. And what do you think's going to happen in that fight, man? You got
I think Tyson has enough for Dillian White. He has enough for him.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna hope against hope that Dillian White gets one in there, because if Deontay Wilder can do it, if Tyson Fury decides to stand in front of Dillian White like he did with Deontay Wilder, it increases White's chances. I mean, the third fight with Fury and Wilder, I say to people, I don't think that was a great fight. It looked like Tyson Fury put on too much weight. He took punches that he didn't need to take. I don't know what he was trying to get at there. I don't know if he couldn't move. He was too heavy. I don't know what it was. But he took some punishment that he didn't need to take. And I don't think he's going to try and do that with Dillian White. I think he has more stuff in terms of boxing technique that he can apply if things start to go south. So I think ultimately he has a bit more tools than Dillian, but Dillian has a good chance, much better than what certain people are giving him. And I'm hoping that the brother pull it off, man. I'll be honest. Tyson Fury, man, what a joke.
Yeah, for sure. So Tyson's talking about coming in the heaviest he's ever come in. Do you think that's another front?
Well, he said he was going to do it with Deontay Wilder, and he did it, right?
He did.
But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe he comes in, but if it's heavy, then that means Tyson Fury is going to be close to 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to come in at anywhere near that. So.
No. I think his heaviest was 277 in the past or somewhere about there. So if he's going to be heavy in that's too heavy for me as well. And I think he's got to try and keep White at distance for 4 or 5 rounds at the start at least. Because White's, they don't call him the body snatcher for no reason. You know, he's quite happy to get inside and chop Tyson Fury in half to slow him down. But yeah, I think if Tyson's going to try and keep it long, he's going to have to take a bit of that weight off. Maybe see him down at about 260 or something, so he can at least move a bit and maintain that range. But I'm looking forward to the fight, and I hope.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good fight. What is this conversation I saw on Twitter the other day that 4 of the undercard fights fell through? How is that possible? Is that true?
Well, I was just looking on BoxRec earlier, and they've only got Isaac Lowe on there, and he's fighting the almighty TBA, and that's it. There's no other fights confirmed on the card yet, so there must be some kind of truth. I don't know, man. Is Frank trying to pinch too many pennies because he forked out too much for $41 million?
That's great.
He can't pay decent fighters to come on the card. And once again, it's down to that those fighters have the options. They're getting offered the deal. They have the power to say yes or no. So, yeah, they are the ones in control. I just hope we get a half decent undercard, because it's definitely going to be pay-per-view, and I'm not going to be paying for a card that's crap that has one decent fight as the main event, and that's it.
Man, this is like a situation that, you know, when I first started watching UK boxing, right? Like, I don't know nothing about no Eddie Hearn, no Frank Warren, but every time UK people tell me this Frank Warren guy is slimy. When I saw the report that 4 fights fell through, I said that's not possible. 4 fights. I know, wasn't Jared Anderson supposed to be in a fight, but then I think somebody had to injure him or Christian Hall. So maybe that's one. But then, why wouldn't you then put like a Callum Johnson versus somebody on the card? Why wouldn't you? I think he has the British welterweight champ there. Put him against somebody. Who else is is in his stable? If he was wise, he would at least put the Andre and Zach Parker on that as co-main or something.
That would be smart, but it could also use some of the top-ranked fighters as well, because it's co-promoted. So there shouldn't be a shortage of fighters. I just think there's a shortage of money. Surely not that many fighters can all be injured at the same time. It's not good for promotion that fans can't jump onto BoxRec and see who's going to be fighting, and I'll have to make sure my day is free to watch such and such because there's no such and suches on there. It sucks.
It's crazy. Frank has people he can put on there. I mean, they've been trying to make something of this guy. What's his name? Avanesian for the longest while. Put him on the card then, right?
Yeah. What's he, welterweight, eh?
Yeah, he a welterweight. Put him on the card.
Yeah.
There's options, but just if you want to imply it. I mean, man, one fight, Isaac Lowe, who seemingly the UK people are not high on. I don't know who he is. I don't know. So
he's a bum.
But when people, huh? What's that?
He's a bum. I'm just joking.
No.
Just joking. He's got.
What weight class is he?
That's a good question. Actually, I better re-look it up. I did take it away, so give me a sec. I think he's somewhere around welter, might be 154 as well, or something like that. Isaac Lowe. Fuck. Oops, excuse my language. Low box Rick. There we go. Yeah. Featherweight. Okay. Featherweight is 21 1 and 3 draws.
That's Kiko Martinez in them.
Isn't he super feather? Something like that? Oh, somewhere around there anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Well, come on, man. You can find some people to fight this, man. You listen. You can't have one fight, and I get it. People who buy pay-per-views buy for the main event. But what about the people who are in the stadium? You know, they don't want to see a good fight leading up to the Fury versus White fight. I mean, or is the stadium gonna be empty until that?
That'd suck, wouldn't it? That'd really suck.
Anthony Yarde versus Callum Johnson co-main event. Let's have it.
Yeah, that'd work. I mean, it wouldn't be that expensive. I don't imagine.
It can't be that expensive. It's a non-title fight, non-British title fight, non-nothing. I mean, I think Yarde is now the Commonwealth champ or something since he beat Lyndon Arthur.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be for something, but Callum and Yarde can't sit around and wait for Beterbiev and Joe Smith to fight. They can't sit around, surely. I mean, what are they going to do?
The past couple of years has had enough sitting around for everybody, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Callum Johnson was complaining that Eddie Hearn wasn't getting them fights or whatever, and he's inactive. He fought the last time and he looked terrible. He didn't look good at all.
No, he did. He looked really bad.
Now he's inactive again.
Yeah. Indeed.
Can I have a Joe Joyce versus Joseph Parker fight?
Well,
I have that.
I hear that fight might actually be being negotiated right now. They're looking to try and make it. Joseph Parker might end up signing to Queensbury for 2 fights, so it's promising it might end up on that card.
Why not? Joseph Parker don't have no fights nowhere else. You know, He's not gonna go to. Well, I know Duco. What's his name? Higgins. Was talking about how, you know, Joseph's gonna go to America and get American big fights. I'm like, all right, Higgins, that ain't happening. But Frank does have. I mean, he don't have no fights at Matchroom because Joshua's tied up. Dillian White, even though he's not a quote unquote Matchroom fighter, is tied up.
Yep.
You know, so he's fought Chisora. Ain't really much left. So there's Joe Joyce over at Queensbury, and well, you know, he's not gonna fight Tyson Fury. He said he'll never fight Tyson Fury, which is ridiculous. But whatever.
Yeah. There ain't really a lot of other fights out there, and
it ain't much. He's fought most of these people. He's fought Joshua. He's fought Dillian White. You know, fought Chisora. He's fought Andy Ruiz.
Yeah. That talk from Higgins about going to America too, I think that's dreaming, because most of the Americans' opinion of Joseph Parker is usually pretty boring. Well, you know, You know, so who's going to want to pay him to fight on those cards over there? Nobody really.
Yeah.
So,
and apparently Joseph Parker now commands a big salary because Higgins said, "Oh, you know, the Hergovich fight, you know, that's not a big enough fight. That's not going to command enough money." I'm like, well, how much money does Joseph Parker realize that because Eddie Hearn was willing to overpay him to fight Shondell Winters and them, that's not really a true reflection of his worth, because he hasn't really done a lot for his reputation these last few years, maybe.
He's been crap. Until this last this Derek Chisora fight where he looked like he showed some improvement with some aggression and, You know, he wanted to actually win the fight. Before then, he hasn't
Yeah.
had an exciting fight since Andy Ruiz. That was it. That's a long time
And
ago.
that was it. Because he let Joshua turn their fight into a sparring match.
Yeah. Yep.
And no, maybe the Dillian White fight was exciting.
Oh, yes, sorry. That was exciting. I forgot that. That was directly after the Joshua fight, wasn't it? So,
Right.
yeah.
So,
Take it, Joe. You might not be getting $2 million for the fight like he's expecting, but what else are you going to do, man?
him and Joe Joyce need something to do because Joyce ain't no young man. I was surprised he's like 30, 35, 36. Somebody told me. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that old. Really?
He stayed amateur for a long time, but he didn't have a long amateur career either. He started late, so I guess those are the consequences.
Wow.
I think he must be 36. Let me look that up.
Yeah, he don't have no time to waste. So he needs to tell his people, you need to get this fight made because you don't have no time to waste. You see, Zili Zhang was like, he's also 30-something years old. And he was like, just give me the
nearly
Hergovich fight, man. What?
Yeah. He's nearly 40 as Zili Zhang. But yeah, Joe Joyce is 36 at present.
Damn.
Zili Zhang. Yeah, I'm sure he's 39. He might be 40 by the time he gets in the ring with Hergovic.
Yeah. These people don't have no time to waste. I mean, 36? Nah, bro. A lot of people at 36 are out the game.
Yeah. Especially heavyweights, where if you've been in battles, you don't want to be hanging around taking shots at that age.
I don't know why Joe Joyce signed with Frank Warren. Honestly, don't know why.
Yeah, well, at the time, I guess he had Nathan Gorman, he had Daniel Dubois, and that's only a couple of fights there, but didn't really have a lot else at heavyweight. So what else was he going to do? Unless it was planned all along to work with Top Rank, because there's a decent stable of American heavyweights and, well, international heavyweights with Top Rank. Zili Zhang, there we go. Where is his age? Zili Zhang, Boxer. Oh, he's 38. Zili Zhang, so.
Who's 38?
Zili Zhang.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time. See, so he's getting his opportunity with Hergovich. So that means then it's time for Joyce and Joseph Parker to get their opportunity. They need to fight each other. That's a good, solid fight. That's a big time fight.
And it should be a WBO final eliminator for the mandatory position.
There you go.
You know?
So there's a lot happening. The problem is Frank Warren going to build a card around it? Because we know Joyce and Joseph Parker are not going to sell this fight based on their personalities. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Gentlemen, when there's two gentlemen, they don't usually sell, eh?
Maybe Sam Jones and Higgins will get into a verbal wrestling match or something. And
could be more entertainment than the build-up, for sure. Crack up stuff. All right, let's have a quick touch. Did you watch any boxing over the weekend?
over this weekend, no.
No?
I didn't get a chance to watch the Sky card because, well, I usually consume my Sky. I used to consume my Sky stuff through the Zone, and I didn't feel like going on to any dodgy streams to view it. So no, I did see the highlight of Savannah Marshall putting that chick to sleep.
Yep. Florian Marcoux had a decent win too. He looked like he's actually starting to improve a little bit, which is good to see instead of just...
Oh yeah, I did see his highlights. Florian Marcoux is a guy who... this guy talks so much shit.
He does.
And it's like, you're not that good, man. You're really not that good. For somebody who was a world-class kickboxer, blase. You go back to kickboxing, brother.
Yeah. He's kind of like the Albanian version of Ryan Garcia, I guess. You know, he talks a lot. He's all over social media. But I don't know how good he is. Maybe Ryan Garcia's better if he's in the headspace. But he's fighting this weekend coming up with this Emmanuel to go. Got a couple of fights this weekend. We've got Eriksen Lubin and Sebastian Fondora as well. The Towering Inferno. Should be an interesting one.
That's all right. That's all right. That's not bad. That's all right.
Yeah, and
what do you make of Golden Boy losing Rashidi Ellis though? He was a young up 147 pounder. Dude was supremely talented, and they just shelved him. I know they lost him to PBC.
Yeah, well, he hasn't had a fight in over a year, has he? So
yeah, they just shelved him. They just had him on the shelf doing nothing.
I don't know if they could really hang on to him. If anybody wants decent fights at the top of the 147 or 154, they've got to go to PBC. They've got their shit on lockdown now, don't they? So it was a good move for Rashidi Ellis to get over there to get the fights he needs, but Golden Boy dragging the chain, man, big time.
I don't know, man. Golden Boy comes off like I guess you guys call it a small hall type of promotion. Like, they don't do any big shows. They just keep doing these little regional, local shows. It looks like a Golden Boy show looks so much different to a Matchroom show, and it's just really wild.
Yeah, it's kind of halfway between a Matchroom and a Don King show.
Yeah, it's so strange, and it's like Golden Boy. I don't know what's next for these people, because if Ryan Garcia in any way looks like crap against Tago, then
yeah. They've pretty much gone downhill since they lost Canelo, really, haven't they? I mean, they made that big stuff up with Jaime Munguia the other day as well. That was a big stuff up.
God.
So I don't have much hope for the Oscar Haladoya promotional company. Making some bad decisions as far as I can see. And it's making fights not happen. That's not what us fans want to see, man. We want to see these fights made, not arguing over money. I mean, who was it? It was Munguia and somebody. Both the guys agreed to the fight, and it was only Oscar De La Hoya saying it needs to be on the zone as well, and that's what stopped Showtime putting it on. That's it, Charlo. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's dumb, man. It's disappointing. But I guess all we can do is spectate and complain.
But I keep wondering, like, if DAZN actually wanted to pay-per-view that fight. Like, you really think DAZN wanted to put a Jaime Munguia versus Charlo on a that fight's not big enough for even one pay-per-view. That's not even a pay-per-view fight, really.
No,
it's not a pay-per-view fight.
Yeah, well, DAZN haven't even done their first pay-per-view yet, have they? It's going to be the Canelo fight's going to be the first one against Bivol.
Exactly.
So I think it was just a case of Oscar trying to split a pay-per-view. I don't even think DAZN would have gone for it, but Oscar wanted to put.
I don't think they were even interested in that fight.
Nah, Oscar wanted to put some pay-per-view money in his pocket, is all. Greedy, coke snorting idiot. So he's to go home and put his fishnets back on, clown.
I'm telling you, I'm like, DAZN pay-per-views have only been for the absolute biggest of the biggest fights where there's enough to go around for everybody. This is not one of them fights. No. That's not even a pay-per-view. That is a free subscription or free Showtime fight. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, Showtime were going to put it on for free, weren't they?
No.
Were they going to pay-per-view it? Okay.
Pay-per-view.
Wow.
Which is wild, too.
Yeah, that's way out there. It's asking for failure.
Which is absolutely crazy to me. So, I don't know what Oscar's going to do, but Ryan Garcia needs to look like $1 million against Emmanuel Tago. He has to.
Where's that going to come from?
I don't know, but he has to look great because they don't have nothing else.
No.
But Big Box, they don't have nothing else. Absolutely nothing. They have one legitimate champion. That's the lady, Sinesta. I think it's Estrada or something.
Oh yeah,
and
Sinesta Estrada.
And they don't have any more champions. None. Not one.
Damn. They
How
in
is that
trouble.
possible?
They're in trouble. I guess they're not looking after their fighters how they want to be looked after, and they keep leaving. So unless they change what they're doing, it's only going to get worse. I imagine DAZN might not renew the contract when that's up, and that'll be a big blow to Golden Boy. So what are they going to do? They're going to end up like Ludabella, running around between networks. I don't know.
Ludabella's a weirdo, man. That guy is very strange. Like, a lot of people seem to dislike Ludabella.
Yeah.
And it's it's just interesting because when Kambosos won the fight, it was like immediately Ludabella went absolutely crazy. Don't talk to my guy Eddie. Don't talk to him. Don't say nothing to him. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's like he just went absolutely nuts. And he don't want to talk to Eddie. He want to talk straight to the guys at DAZN. So he's trying to leverage Kambosos into a network deal for him.
Yeah.
And Ludabella don't have no people that is worth having a net, because we still don't know if George Kambosos is a big draw like that. Ludabella promotes in America. He don't promote in Australia.
Yeah.
And I highly doubt George Kambosos is going to be a big draw in America.
No,
right?
Not at this point.
Right. So I'm like, which network is going to give Ludabella an exclusive deal? For who? He don't even have the lady no more. What's her name? She's fighting Katie Taylor. What's her name?
I can't remember her name. I know who you're talking about. Serrano, that's it. Amanda Serrano.
Right. He got mad at Eddie Hearn because that fight was made with Jake Paul. And they couldn't make it with Lou. So he was mad at Eddie Hearn for that. Like this guy is really strange, man. That's why boxing is where it is, because people use their emotions to scuttle fights, destroy relationships. It's just ridiculous, man. But
yeah,
let's see.
Indeed, Ludabella is a weird one. That's for sure. I can understand.
Go over for the Kambosos fight?
Nah, man, I'm not going over there. It's a couple.
Why you say it like that?
It's a couple hour flight over there, and there's a couple of heavies that I want to see on there, but it's not interesting enough for me as a heavyweight fan to get over there. I mean, to watch Junior Farr, I don't want to go over there to go to sleep. Hemi would be awesome to watch, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's actually look. What other fights are confirmed for that card? There's nothing else yet. Just the main so far. So it's a little way away, that one.
Junior Farr on the card?
Yeah, Junior Farr and Hemi Ahiu. They're actually both Ludabella fighters. So they're both going to be fighting on that card, but they won't be fighting each other.
Tell Junior Farr cut that ridiculous mustache.
It looks stupid, eh? It doesn't look right.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Looks like it's stuck on there, like it's glued on. It's crazy.
He's completely out of line for that mustache. I was like, what is this man doing? Just shave your face or grow a whole beard.
Crack it. All right, man. So we've been on for a little while, and I'm about to shut down. So any fights you want to bring up before we roll? Anything that's coming up that you're looking
I'm
forward
looking forward to the Joshua Boatsi Craig Richards fight. I really want to see that fight. You know what I mean? I got Craig Richards because I'm not sure about I don't know what Joshua Boatsi is. I don't know if he's good, if he's bad. I honestly don't know. But that's a good fight. I'm really looking forward to that. And that's the Triple G Murata. What is that? Next week?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm backing Murata in that because Triple G, he pisses me off. All right? So, anyway, hey, big boys, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Peace.
All good. Thanks, Iron Kong. For those of you who haven't already, make sure you get over. He has a channel of his own. Always some interesting conversation over at Kong's channel. And thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it. So that's us for today, team. Hope you all enjoyed the bit of a yarn, and we shall be back after the weekend. If not, I'll get maybe a fight night video or two out before the weekend, and we'll see what develops. I'm looking forward to trying to be able to get a live commentary stream going for a fight. I haven't done one for quite some time. There just hasn't been enough on for me to do, so I'm itching to get one out. I might even end up doing one that's not for a heavyweight fight, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you to everybody who popped in, and we'll catch y'all next time. Take it easy.
So that enjoyed, you can show your appreciation with a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to check out our Discord community where you can find boxing news, fight links, live streamed fights, and much more. So look after yourself and your family. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. See you!